Live from Kern County's streaming news leader, this is 23 ABC News at 6, and it starts now.
Projections have been made in the state's high-stakes recall election. We will break things down for you.
And we have reactions from Kern County's Democratic and Republican parties following those projected results.
Well, good morning, and thank you so much for joining us. I'm Brenna Rose. Mike is not here today, but he's on assignment. He's got a pretty cool gig, doesn't he, Elena? He, of course, traveling with our veterans yesterday to Washington.
Oh, so fantastic. I can't wait to hear more from him in this hour for the recap of how yesterday's honor flight went. After 2 years, our guardians and our vets are up and over into D.C. Mike was checking in with us last night from his hotel room, and they have a big day ahead of them. So here at home, we are left with some high, thin clouds, a lot of smoke out there as well. It's going to be the big story for the day, is more about air quality and more above average temperatures. Well, it's pretty quiet for now. We're at 72. Later today, a hazy 96. Yes, there's a little bit of a breeze, but it's just swirling around this smoke for the entire region. The worst of the smoke is to the north, where those huge fires continue to burn, but obviously the Windy Fire and Walker's Fire putting out large smoke amounts for us here in Kern County. So take it easy if you have sensitive lungs, as we have this high pressure and control to our south. Over the top of it, there's a little bit of a westerly flow. So that's what's keeping us out of the hundreds, and it's keeping some of that smoke pushing off to the east, but it's still a hot and hazy day out there. And especially for the Kern River Valley, you'll see the smoke futurecast has a lot of smoke for you coming down toward Tehachapi and Fraser Park at times today, but then heading into tomorrow, see it stretching out. Increasing westerly winds will slowly take our air quality readings down and take those temperatures down heading into the weekend as well. So for today, hot and hazy, that means air quality remains unhealthy for sensitive groups. The highs stay above average. By tomorrow, though, a little more seasonal. By Saturday, dipping below average. By Sunday, mid 80s. We haven't been like that since the middle of June. And then the potential for low 80s here in Bakersfield by Monday. That is awesome. It has been more than 3 months since we've seen low 80s for a high out there. But the fall begins next Wednesday, and it's got to be hot for the first day of fall for the fair. It's tradition here in Bakersfield, and you see that there as we jump right back to those 90s next week. More on this extended forecast coming up, but first, here's Robert with a look at our traffic. Good morning.
Hey, good morning there, Elena. Good morning, everybody. Through Bakersfield, still a good traffic commute here on this Wednesday morning. Right.
Well, we seem to have lost Robert there. We'll check back in with him in a bit. In other news, California has voted not to recall Governor Gavin Newsom, according to a projection from ABC News. President Biden closed out the campaign for Newsom on Monday night as he fought to keep his job and keep Democrats in control of America's largest state. ABC's Alex Perche has the latest from Washington.
This morning, California Governor Gavin Newsom will keep his job. ABC News making the projections based on exit polls and vote analysis.
Thank you to 40 million Americans, 40 million Californians, and thank you for rejecting this recall.
The stakes of this recall election had national political implications. If Newsom was voted out, the next governor would appoint a new senator should Democrat Dianne Feinstein retire, potentially tipping the balance of power in the chamber.
If Governor Newsom were to lose in very blue California, it would be an enormously troubling sign for Democrats nationwide in the midterms and beyond.
Democrats galvanizing, the party's biggest names campaigning for Newsom.
Having President Biden here, having Vice President Harris here was a big boost for this campaign.
This recall effort was widely seen as a referendum on Newsom's handling of COVID. The governor violated his own restrictions late last year when he was seen dining at one of the country's most expensive restaurants. His opponents pounced, gathering enough signatures to put a recall on the ballot. Newsom's chief political rival, conservative radio host Larry Elder, who campaigned on repealing mask and test mandates, conceding early this morning.
Let's be gracious in defeat. We may have lost the battle, but we are going to win the war.
Newsom telling Elder and other Republicans that democracy is fragile.
Democracy is not a football. You don't throw it around. We may have defeated Trump, but Trumpism is not dead in this country.
This recall election's on track to be one of the most expensive to date. California Secretary of State saying it's cost close to $300 million. Alex Perche, ABC News, Washington.
Well, it certainly was a busy night for our news team. Our 23 ABC reporters were at the Democratic and Republican watch parties here in Kern County. 23 ABC's Callan Hobbin is joining us live from the Kern County Elections Office with reactions from both sides. Good morning, Callan.
Brenna, good morning. Yes, both parties are being cautious with their reactions as of right now because they do know that the ballots are still being counted. However, the Kern County Democratic Party's chair, Christian Romo, told us upon hearing those projected results that he believes this will, quote, solidify the Democratic stronghold the party has in California. He says he knows the Democratic Party isn't as strong here in Kern County, so they're going to use this win to do something about that.
We're cautiously optimistic that hopefully when we send a clear message to the governor's mansion that some of these executive actions won't stand, that a number of people from across the political spectrum have said enough's enough.
That was Kern County Republican Party Vice Chair Michael Cave saying that his group is disappointed with these projected results, but they hope that the recall campaign will still make a difference in the governor's policies.
But slowly but surely we're going to make sure that we boost our registration numbers. We go out there and talk to voters, educate voters on what the Democratic Party is, what our policies are, and who we stand up for.
So overall, both parties are waiting to see the final results, but they will say that both of these parties are saying that this campaign will affect the 2022 gubernatorial election. Now, again, these are projected results predicting Newsom will win. This election will not be certified officially until October 22nd. Live at the elections office, Callan Hobbin, 23 ABC, connecting you.
Callan, thank you. And sticking with the recall election, 23 ABC's Maithili Gubi breaks down the number of ballots returned and votes cast so far around the state.
California has over 22 million registered voters, and Kern County accounts for about 442,000 voters. The Secretary of State data as of September 13th shows that here in Kern County, one ballot was dropped at a drop-off box, while 8,000 voters decided to cast their ballot at a drop-off location, and over 110,000 ballots were sent in by mail. Historically, Kern County votes different than the state, and another county that traditionally followed that trend is Orange County.
Orange County was, in fact, famously the kind of one of the hearts of the Republican Party in the United States, not just in California, but in the entire United States. Orange County was a kind of the stereotypical Republican county. It's not anymore. Most of its representatives are Democrats. Most of its population is voting Democratic.
In Orange County, about 42% of ballots issued had already been returned the day before Election Day. But the reason we are looking at Orange County is because it is also a reliably red county that now leans more blue. Ann Bowler says that Kern County is also following that trajectory, with party affiliations locally evolving and possibly shifting. I'm Maithili Gubi, 23 ABC, connecting you.
And in other news, the county has proclaimed October as Paint the Town Pink Month. The Board of Supervisors approving the proclamation for Kern County in recognition of National Breast Cancer Awareness Month, presenting one nonprofit with a certified proclamation.
I would like to commend personally and honor Jennifer Henry and Links for Life for all the good work they do during National Breast Cancer Awareness Month. They touch so many lives, bring hope, comfort, and solace to so many of our sisters.
On October 2nd, Links for Life will kick off Breast Cancer Awareness Month with a 5K fun run and walk to celebrate survivors and their families impacted by breast cancer. And on that day, the county building will be lit up in pink in recognition as well. Well, as we head into the fall and then winter months, you may need to bundle up with a jacket, and so do kids in Tehachapi. The city is partnering up with local organizations to host the Coats for Kids. The drop-off program begins now and runs through October 14th. If you'd like to donate, you can do so at Tehachapi City Hall in the lobby or at the Salvation Army. In 1 week's time, you can be heading to the Kern County Fair for free. Howich and Blood Bank will be continuing their annual event, Pint for a Pass. So the Blood Bank will be giving away 2 free adult tickets to donors and 4 free tickets to platelet and plasma donors. It's already begun and will continue until October 1st. Well, still to come here on 23 ABC News, it's National Adopt a Shelter Dog Month, and one local event has been put on hold for now. Details on when the new date will be next. And from one storm to another, how residents are dealing with the aftermath of Tropical Storm Nicholas. Welcome back. Behavioral Health and Recovery Services is hosting a free drive-through event this weekend to provide mental health and substance use resources. September is a chance for the community to come together and spread awareness about suicide prevention. The Hope and Recovery celebration is this Saturday. It runs from 4 to 7 p.m. at the administration office parking lot. That's on 28th Street. Now, organizers say the first 250 people will get a free admission ticket to this year's fair. And if you had your heart set on adding a new furry member to your family, that might have to wait a bit. The free pet adoption event is being postponed. The event put on by Assemblymember Vince Fong was originally scheduled for tomorrow. It's been pushed back now to October 4th. Fong will cover the first 100 pet adoptions at the Kern County Animal Services building, which is located at 3951 Fruitvale Avenue. Turning now to wildfires burning across California, the Route and French fires are nearly fully contained while the Windy Fire continues to grow. The fire was sparked by lightning near the Sequoia National Forest last week. This photo was taken by fire officials of the fire. That's more than 1,600 acres. It's 0% contained. The Forest Service has closed 18 national forests, including Sequoia National Forest, both for the public safety and firefighter safety. Now to the Gulf Coast, where the remnants of Hurricane Nicholas are stalling over Louisiana right now, and that's a region that certainly does not need any more rain. ABC's Andrew Dimbert has the latest details.
This morning, what's left of Hurricane Nicholas is expanding and slowing to a crawl, posing a major flash flood threat from New Orleans to the Florida Panhandle. In Louisiana, widespread rainfall of 5 to 10 inches is possible, including in New Orleans. Areas prone to flooding outside the city could see up to 20 inches. It comes as people there still cope with the effects of Hurricane Ida. Just over 2 weeks after that storm, nearly 100,000 customers in southeast Louisiana remain without power.
There's still more garbage to come to the street and still a lot more damage to be taken care of.
This morning, the city of New Orleans saying it's picked up only 5% of the debris left over from Ida. Now, officials are worried that debris will clog storm drains, making today's flooding far worse. ABC's Ginger Z is just outside the city.
Look behind me, piles of debris 16 days after Ida. As far as the eye can see, street after street, and now a flash flood watch.
Earlier Tuesday, Nicholas hammered the Texas coast, intensifying into a Category 1 hurricane before landfall. The powerful storm surge overtaking roads and winds up to 95 miles per hour, toppling trees and tearing homes apart.
And it was just howling like the craziest howl I've never heard in my entire life. It was like a tornado that lasted for 7 hours.
Andrew Dimbert, ABC News, New York.
We keep showing those images all morning, and it's so hard to see those and just think about what those folks are going through.
Ugh. And it's so hard because you see those systems coming, you evacuate people, and it's just stuff, but it's your home, it's your sanctuary. That's so difficult to see it damaged in that way. Here at home, as we take a look at that beautiful sunrise, it's actually beautiful because it's kind of gross. Yeah, a lot of this is smoke, so it's creating that sunrise out there. We have some high clouds, and you see how tumultuous it is aloft, and so it's creating those little undulations in the cloud cover and the smoke layer out there. So with that, it looks like a stormy sunrise, but there's no rain in the forecast. Another hot and hazy day ahead. Right now, as mild as we'll get, 72 for our morning low in Bakersfield and Maricopa, 60s for the rest of the valley, the Kern River Valley, and some desert cities. But look at the 50s at Edwards, Rosamond, Breckenridge, 48 in Tehachapi, 49 down in Lockwood Valley. So with those cool conditions, it feels a little bit like fall this morning, but but it's another summer day this afternoon because this high pressure is still in control. So you see a weak westerly flow there. That's what's keeping us out of the hundreds, but 96 still above average, still dry out there. With that 94 in Isabella, it's 100 down into Ridgecrest. And you two have a lot of smoke coming into your region. Some of it coming down to Tehachapi where you're at 86, Fraser Park at 84 today. And that smoke is from those major fires burning to the north. So we'll continue to see those as this surface system that we had the last couple days falls apart. High pressure starts to move off to the east, and that allows this system to dig in along the California coastline heading into the end of the week. That pushes some ocean air on shore. It's going to stay dry out there, but it's going to drop us back to average. And as it kind of digs in by Saturday, it doesn't do much more than allow this trough from the north to make its presence known. Sunday, you see this well-defined cold front here, the attached parent system well to the north, all the cold Canadian air coming in. No moisture this far south, but we do benefit from the winds and that drop in temperatures. I'm going to call it breezy the next couple days with these different systems in play, but you see how each afternoon keeps dropping until we're in the mid 80s on Sunday. Haven't been like that since the middle of June, and then some low 80s out there by Monday. It almost feels like fall because it's going to be in those low 60s in the morning, low 80s in the afternoon, but fall actually begins on Wednesday, and that's the first day of the fair. And as you know, Bakersfield tradition is to have it hot at the fair, and that continues this year. Look at those mid 90s right back by next Wednesday. So no rain in this forecast for our Kern River Valley friends either, but much of your day in the 60s and 70s. Tehachapi, Fraser Park, highs in just those low 70s, some breezes, some cloud cover. We're going to get excited about this as we get closer to it. But for now, we need to get ready to get out the door with traffic. Good morning, Robert. What's the latest?
Hey, good morning there, Elena. Good morning, everybody. Well, if you're just joining in, it has been a very quiet traffic commute so far through the Bakersfield area. And we are responding to, looks like a single vehicle off the roadway on the southbound side of Highway 99, just north of Merced Avenue. This is going to be on the north end of the county. So we're still receiving details on this incident. So just keep that in mind if you plan on traveling on the 99 anytime soon. Those of you heading out of town, it's a good time. Your major routes are all open. And again, all local traffic here on our city streets as well as our local freeways. Not too bad. Pretty good shape at this time. That's my look at traffic. We'll send it back to you in studio.
Thanks, Robert. And coming up on 23 ABC News, SpaceX's Inspiration 4 is set to blast off from the Kennedy Space Center tonight. More about the crew ahead. And you likely received one of these calls. Find out which popular phone scam reached billions of people this year. Welcome back. SpaceX's Inspiration 4 is set to blast off from the Kennedy Space Center later tonight. It will be the first space tourism flight without an astronaut guiding passengers through the initial launch and landing. It's a historic mission, and one woman is the focus of it. ABC's Will Gans has more.
Today, Haley Arsenault makes history as the youngest American, the first with a prosthesis, and first pediatric cancer survivor in space.
I think having cancer made me tough, and I think in a way it prepared me to go to space.
The 29-year-old, one of 4 soon-to-be astronauts on the Inspiration 4, the first all-civilian crewed mission to space.
And until now, astronauts have really had to be physically perfect. And so I'm so excited that this mission is opening space travel up to everyone.
The mission's goal, to raise awareness and funds for St. Jude Children's Research Hospital. 19 years ago, Haley was a patient at St. Jude. Now she works there as a physician assistant.
I work with the bravest kids in the world, and they inspire me daily.
With today's mission, she can return the favor.
They all want to be astronauts now, and I tell them that they can be.
Haley proving to the patients she works with and to the rest of us, not even the sky is the limit.
What is your advice to the rest of us to find that zest for life every day the way you have found it?
You know, and I think it comes from hope, because going through treatment and having that hope, that's what made me love my life and just absolutely just loving the day that you're in, because you're here.
Whether she's walking the halls of St. Jude or orbiting the Earth for 3 days at an altitude higher than the International Space Station or anywhere in between, Haley Arsenault is America Strong.
I'm just a regular person going to space. And, you know, not everyone has had childhood cancer, but everyone has had to overcome something.
I spoke with Haley just a bit ago. She told me she's feeling totally calm, no trouble sleeping the night before her historic trip to space. So what's she most excited about? She's going to video call her patients back at St. Jude while she's up there. Will Gans, ABC News, New York.
What an experience. Okay, as many workers across the country face mandatory vaccinations, it appears that NBA players will not have to get vaccinated against COVID-19 before the season begins in October. There are reports that the Players Union and League have been negotiating health protocols. A source telling CNN if all goes according to plan, there will not be a vaccine mandate. Well, athletes won't have to get those shots. The NBA does require them for coaches, referees, and staff. All 4 branches of the military have set deadlines for service members to receive their COVID-19 vaccine. The Army will require all active duty members to be vaccinated by December 15th. National Guard soldiers have until next June 30th. The Army says soldiers who do not comply could face career-ending reprimands depending on their rank. The Air Force set November 2nd as the date for active duty members. National Guard and Reserve members will have an extra month. The Navy and Marines both set November 28th as a deadline for their active duty members to be vaccinated. Well, we have all picked up one of those phone calls. What about a car warranty scam? Well, according to RoboKiller, that's the top phone scam this year. It's projecting nearly 13 billion of these scam calls in 2021. Now, there are plenty of legitimate extended car warranty plans out there. But Kevin Brassler with the nonprofit Consumers Checkbook says the organization found a lot of the third-party ones may not be worth your money.
Even when the policies do cover a repair you might need, we found that a lot of these companies have thousands of complaints lodged against them with the Better Business Bureau and other consumer agencies about denial of claims.
Consumers Checkbook also found third-party companies use deceptive sale practices like robocalls, pretending to be the car manufacturer or sending out mailers that make it seem like it's coming from either the state DMV or the car maker. There's still much more to come in our next half hour. Coming up next, Governor Gavin Newsom is projected to survive the recall election. We'll break down those results for you. And now that the ballots have been cast, what can we expect in the upcoming weeks? We'll explain when 23 ABC News continues. Governor Gavin Newsom is projected to survive the recall election. We will break down those results for you.
And with the ballots cast, what's next? We'll give you a look at what to expect in the coming weeks.
And Honor Flight 42 touching down in the nation's capital, how the trip is going so far and what it means to local veterans. Well, good morning. Thanks so much for tuning in to 23 ABC News at 6:30. I'm Brenna Rose. You might have noticed that Mike is not here. He's actually in our nation's capital. He, is with our local veterans, our local heroes.
Yes.
And we're going to talk to him in a little bit. He's working hard for us, so he did a story for us. We can't wait to watch that. But first,
the weather. I know, right? Mike is grinning. He always has such great coverage of these honor flights. And then here at home, I'm left with some pretty unfortunate weather. So that's kind of a bummer for the day ahead. You see some high cloud cover out there. A lot of this is smoke. And you see, as we have some winds aloft, it's creating some pretty beautiful patterns. So as you get up, if you're snapping any pictures of this, make sure to send it to me. As we have that 68 in Isabella, it's 48 in Tehachapi, 72 in Bakersfield, and then those 60s and a couple 50s into our desert locations. With cool air this morning, it's short-lived. Now that the sun is up, it can show you all of the smoke that we have plaguing the state, and it will continue to bake the earth, leaving us feeling a bit like summer yet again. So most of the smoke for our area is from the Windy Fire and the Walker's Fire burning to our north, but really all of that smoke plaguing the western U.S. This high pressure in control, so yes, there's a weak westerly flow aloft, but air quality not so great here on the valley floor. Most of the smoke really affecting the Kern River Valley down toward Tehachapi and Fraser Park today, but then later on tonight, as the winds start to pick up, see how that smoke gets pushed out. It's going to be a slow process, but we are expecting better air quality as temperatures go down by the end of the week. Until then, still unhealthy for sensitive groups and still hot. Mid-90s out there is down from yesterday's 99, but it's above our average of 92. So here in Bakersfield, 96, about 3:30 for our high today. Robert, what can we expect in traffic this morning?
Well, thank you very much, Elena. Well, still not too bad of a traffic commute as you get ready to head out the door this morning. Looks like we're still making our way over to check on that single vehicle that went off the roadway. Again, on the southbound side of Highway 99 near Merced Avenue. That's going to be on the north end of town. And then also a tree being reported that it's on fire on the northbound side of 99 near White Lane. So we're still receiving details on that incident. So just keep that in mind if you're out and about today. Always buckle up those seatbelts. And as of right now, all of your major routes are open. That's my look at traffic. We'll send it back to you in the studio.
Well, multiple sources projecting that Governor Gavin Newsom has survived the recall attempt and will hold on to his job. According to the Secretary of State, all precincts are reporting more than 5.7 million voters, or 62%, deciding to keep Governor Gavin Newsom in office, while 3.2 million, or 36% of voters, decided to recall him. Although the state voted to keep the governor, a majority of Kern County residents wanted to see him go. 58% of voters here cast a ballot to recall Newsom. 41% of voters wanted to keep him in office. So far, 100% of precincts are partially reporting. Vote by mail ballots and provisional ballots will all be counted over the next few days. Well, Kern County has traditionally been a red county here in California, but over the years, that political pattern has changed. 23 ABC's Maithili Gooby takes us through past voting trends dating back decades.
Traditionally, Kern County usually votes with the Republican majority in elections. Taking a look at registered voters, in 2008, about 65% of eligible voters were registered in the county. In over a decade, that number has grown to about 83%. Data shows that there has been a gradual increase in voters. And even though there has always been a majority of Republican voters and Democratic voters are still trailing, around 2018, the gap between the parties was very small, with just a tiny percentage separating the number of registered Republicans and registered Democrats. And that gap has remained pretty steady since.
Southern California has shifted along with the rest of the state, and Kern County shifted with the rest of the state. In fact, to a similar degree, it's just that Kern County was starting from such a much farther to the right place that shift has taken it simply more towards the middle, and rather than taking it all the way to the other side.
Taking a look at how Kern County has voted in gubernatorial elections going back to 1998. In 1998, 42% of voters voted for the Democratic candidate and 55% voted for the Republican candidate. So even though the county votes for a Republican governor, that gap has been growing and then shrinking between patterns. In 2018, that split was about 60-40, and we'll know more about what party and candidate splits look like in this recall election as more results come in. I'm Maithili Gooby, 23 ABC, connecting you.
The governor speaking to a crowd in Sacramento last night, he addressed the state's efforts to battle the pandemic, which was one of the reasons why the recall was initiated.
But the state's had better health outcomes than Florida and Texas, the United States as a whole, and better economic outcomes than those states. I'm proud of the fact that the state was the first state to do a stay-at-home order. I think that had an impact on saving people's lives across the country.
Newsom also criticized Republicans who have said that this election was rigged, even though none of those claims have been proven to be true. Well, it's only a day after the recall, but some are already looking forward to the 2022 gubernatorial election. 23 ABC's Veronica Morley is joining us now live with the next steps after last night. Good morning, Veronica.
Good morning. Well, after months of campaigning, it appears that Governor Gavin Newsom will remain in his seat for at least the next year. Now, with voting wrapping up last night around 8 p.m., the earliest results showed the majority of ballots with a no vote to the first question, shall Gavin Newsom be recalled for the office of governor? As of 9 p.m., the results were 62% no to 36% yes, with all precincts partially reporting across the state. Now, millions of votes are left to be counted, including ballots cast on Tuesday. However, the Associated Press, NBC, ABC, CNN, and Fox News are all projecting that the recall has failed and Newsom will remain in office. Now, while the initial call is still being made, election results won't be officially certified for the next few weeks.
everyone has vote by mail that's arriving today, and you have all the security features as far as having to check signatures and then the process of processing those. So, it will be at least many days before final results are known throughout the state.
Now, counties must finish counting ballots and certify the results by October 14th, and the Secretary of State will certify the results on October 22nd. And with the recall election over, now begins the race for the 2022 gubernatorial election, which will once again have Gavin Newsom challenged for his role as governor, and that election is set to begin on November 8th. Live in downtown Bakersfield, I'm Veronica Morley, 23 ABC, connecting you.
Nearly 100 local veterans are spending the day in the nation's capital. The first honor flight in nearly 2 years took off yesterday. 23 ABC's Mike Hart is traveling alongside our local heroes and has a recap of day one.
Veterans began arriving at Meadows Field more than 3 hours before their charter flight was scheduled to leave.
I missed it 2 years ago. I got sick.
Oh, no.
The day before we were supposed to go.
Not even broken ribs could stop Navy veteran Dickie Holman from boarding the plane.
How did you break your ribs?
I slipped in the shower.
You're in the Navy.
I know. I should have been able to swim.
For most of the vets, it's their first time visiting the nation's capital. But for some of the Guardians, they've made this trip several times. State Senator Shannon Grove's husband's taking part in his 10th honor flight. Although she can't go this time, she knows all too well the memories that will be made.
Just walking and getting to know the veterans that you were a guardian of and having them be able to see things that they'd never seen before. And they are so grateful to honor flight and so grateful to this nation for giving him the opportunity to be there.
And local businessman Jeff Salters is on his 6th mission.
So every time I come back, and there's a smile on your face. There's just this overwhelming sense of satisfaction that you made a difference in somebody's life.
There were 3 women veterans scheduled to take part, but only Vietnam Marine Lynn Eckert could answer the call on this day.
It's a one-time event that I don't think I will ever forget as long as I live. I'm just absolutely humbled for today.
And you've got 96 brothers to protect you while you're there.
I know, isn't that nice?
The veterans are celebrated at every turn, leaving Bakersfield and arriving in Baltimore by the Honor Flight ground crew.
Honor Flight, Kern County.
This trip has had a life-changing impact on many vets, while others say it was the military itself that had a profound impact on their life.
It's all about people having courage to stand up and make a difference. There's a lot of things that you learn in the military that changed my life. You know, how to stand tall, how to be responsible, how to have honor and courage, those values that stay with you for the rest of your life.
And while most vets and guardians jump at the chance to take flight, sometimes other people need a nudge.
But my family, my wife, my kids, tell me, yeah, come on, you gotta, they owe you that, Like, get on it, take the flight. I says, yeah, I'll go. They talk me into it.
I'm Mike Hart, 23 ABC, connecting you.
Well, today the veterans will visit the National Mall, and we will have much more on their trip coming up later this evening. Coming up later this morning on 23 ABC News, another restaurant is leaving downtown Bakersfield, what Dot and Ott says caused them to shut down for good. And local activists being featured across the country. Why an artist in Wisconsin wants to share Dolores Huerta's message with her community. Amazon is hiring 125,000 employees. The positions are in the retailer's fulfillment and transportation operations in more than a dozen states. There's both full and part-time jobs that are open. Amazon plans to open more than 100 new fulfillment centers and delivery stations just this month. That's after opening 250 centers, air hubs, and delivery stations earlier this year. After the new round of hiring, the company will employ more than 1.3 million people altogether. A local farm-to-table restaurant is calling it quits. Dot and Ott announced yesterday that it's closing. The restaurant used fresh produce from local farms to serve seasonal dishes. In a Facebook post, the restaurant says that pandemic shutdowns and staffing issues are to blame. They're thanking their current staff and the community for all of the support. A graffiti artist in Milwaukee is following in her father's footsteps, painting her city with art that she wants to inspire those in her community. Reporter Jessica Madhacker with our sister station in Wisconsin talked about the icon from here in Kern County featured in her first mural.
My papi, he's right here actually.
8 years ago, Naina Luna, a graffiti artist born and raised on the South Side, lost her father to suicide.
So that was really hard for me, it still is.
Her father, Tomas Rosas, grew up throughout the streets of the South Side spray painting walls.
Doing it illegally on like walls like this one.
Naia never dreamed she could be a legal street artist paid for her work. There was a stereotype that came with graffiti, and she was discouraged by her dad initially.
He always told me like, you're never gonna make a career out of it. It's not gonna work. And I think he did that because that's what he was told.
But finally she got her shot. And recently Naia and another artist were selected to paint on a mural on the very wall her father once painted on, located on Cesar Chavez Drive. Now to have it here in her old neighborhood is full circle.
There's art here that I like help paint. It's surreal.
And the mural is intended to inspire women on the South Side. The main figure depicted?
Dolores Huerta.
Dolores is the woman who coined the phrase "Si se puede," which translates to "yes, we can." A trailblazer who worked alongside Cesar Chavez with the United Farm Workers, fighting for Hispanic immigrant workers within the agriculture industry. The mural, painted in the bright, vivid colors, reads, "Honor the hands that harvest your crops."
We just need to really give thought of who's preparing our foods and like what they have to go through.
Currently at the age of 91, Dolores Huerta has been fighting for immigrant agriculture workers all over the country, which is what inspired them to paint her in her elderly state.
With this mural, we want to teach people.
Teach her community while living out her father's dream.
I want to take on what he couldn't.
From the South Side, Jessica Madhacker, TMJ4 News.
Such a powerful message, and I love all the bright colors in that mural.
Beautiful. Do too. Much better than these bright colors this morning, right? It looks beautiful on our camera, but unlike that art, which is gorgeous, this is pretty because it's ugly. Does that make sense? This is a lot of smoke from our area fires. Some of that is high cloud cover as well. So it's casting some beautiful reflections there and some colors. You know that that's what you're breathing in. Terribly timed cough. I did not do that on purpose. We're all feeling the effects of this smoke statewide. But the fires burning to our north really impacting us in the Kern River Valley down to Tehachapi, but some of it here in the valley and a lot going down to the desert as well. So cool temperatures, high pressure and control above average for another day means 90s out there. Yesterday ended up being 99, so close to 100. Some locations in Bakersfield did hit 100. Here in the forecast today for the heart of the city, 96. And then up into Isabella, 94, Ridgecrest, 100, Tehachapi, 86, Fraser Park, 84 today. So not too bad. It's not hundreds, but it's still above average, and it's dry. That surface low pressure system fades away today. This one digs in a deeper trough. So as it pushes up closer to the coastline, you'll see by Friday, there's just a lot of weather words to say we're still sunny, but we're breezy and feeling better. Back on track for average as that system sweeps on by. Now it's going to help to establish a trough here on Saturday so that next system that digs down won't have to fight as hard to bring its fresh air in. You see this very well-defined cold front on Sunday. That feels fantastic. It means rain over those Northern California fires. It means cooler, cleaner ocean air coming on shore. By the time it gets to us this far south, there's no rain left, but we do get the cooler air. You look at 80s, you're like, well, that's not cool, but it's cooler, especially when we're talking about average being low 90s like we'll see on Friday, and then those low 80s by Monday. We haven't been like that since the beginning of June, more than 3 months since we've seen low 80s. So it will almost be a tease to fall, which officially begins on the calendar on Wednesday with the equinox, but that's also the start of the Kern County Fair. And you know, Bakersfield tradition has it that it has to be hot for the fair, and it will be. Look at that forecast, right back to the 90s. All right, so Isabella, 90s for you today and tomorrow, and then low 80s early next week. Tehachapi, Fraser Park, that means hazy 80s today, breezy conditions to end the week, and then those winds a little stronger this weekend to take you to those 70s there. All right, one last check of our traffic this morning. Robert, how's everything doing?
Thank you very much, Elena. Well, if you're just joining in, so far it has been a very good traffic commute here through the greater Bakersfield area. Looks like fire department is now on scene of that earlier tree that caught fire. Again, that's going to be on the northbound side of Highway 99, just north of White Lane. So you may see a little bit of slowing, some activity there off onto the right shoulder. Also on the southbound side of Highway 99, it's actually going to be just south of Kimberlina Road. We've got a single vehicle off the roadway there, non-injury crash, and so we should have that wrapped up here shortly. Those of you traveling your way out of town, so far so good. Right now, all of your major routes are open, and as always, eliminate your distractions while driving. That's my final look at traffic. Have a great day, everybody. We'll send it back to you in the studio.
Thanks, Robert. And still to come on 23 ABC News, the projected results are in, plus a recap of this morning's top stories. Taking a look back at our top stories this morning, multiple sources projecting that Governor Gavin Newsom has survived the recall attempt and will hold on to his job. According to the Secretary of State, all precincts are reporting more than 5.7 million voters, or 62%, deciding to keep Governor Newsom in office, while 3.2 million, or 36% of voters, decided to recall the governor. Although the state voted to keep the governor, a majority of Kern County residents wanted to see him go. 58% of voters here cast a ballot to recall Newsom. 41% of voters wanted to keep him in office. So far, 100% of precincts are partially reporting. Vote by mail ballots and provisional ballots will all be counted over the next few days. Well, it's only a day after the recall, but some are already looking forward to the 2022 gubernatorial election. 23 ABC's Veronica Morley is joining us now with the next steps. Veronica?
Good morning, Brenna. Well, after months of campaigning, it appears as though Governor Gavin Newsom will remain in his seat for at least the next year. Now, with polls closing last night around 8 p.m., the earliest results showed the majority of ballots with a no vote to the first question, shall Gavin Newsom be recalled from the office of governor? Now, as of this morning, the results were 62% no to 36% yes, with all precincts partially reporting across the state. Now, millions of votes are left to be counted, including ballots cast yesterday. However, the Associated Press, NBC, ABC, CNN, and Fox News are all projecting that the recall has failed and Newsom will remain in office. Now, while the initial call has been made, the election results won't be officially certified for a few more weeks.
You know, everyone has vote by mail that's arriving today, and you have all the security features as far as having to check signatures and then the process of processing those. So, you know, it will be at least many days before final results are known throughout the state.
Now, counties must finish counting ballots and certify their results by October 14th. The Secretary of State will certify the results on October 22nd. And with the recall election over, now begins the race for the 2022 gubernatorial election, where once again Governor Gavin Newsom will be challenged for his role. And that election is scheduled to begin on November 8th. Live in downtown Bakersfield, I'm Veronica Morley, 23 ABC, connecting you.
Veronica, thank you. Well, as the weather gets cooler, you will need to bundle up with a jacket, and so too will children in Tehachapi. The city is partnering up with local groups to host the Coats for Kids campaign. The drop-off program begins now, runs through October 14th. If you wish to donate, you can do so at Tehachapi City Hall in the lobby or the Salvation Army. And in 1 week's time, you could be heading to the Kern County Fair for free. Howitchin Blood Bank will be continuing their annual event, Pint for a Pass. The Blood Bank will be giving away 2 free adult tickets to blood donors and 4 free tickets to platelet and plasma donors. It's already begun and will continue until October 1st. There's always such a need for blood, so if you can give, please do so.
Yeah, I'm getting close to my 3rd gallon. I think I'll actually get that when I go next week.
That's so impressive.
Oh, I love it. I love it. Such a cause close to my heart. As many of you are getting up, you see that sun coming up, what looks like high cloud cover. A lot of it is actually smoke, especially here at the surface, with all of those fires burning around the state. So we go from 72 now to 96 later today, down from yesterday's 99, and we keep falling day by day until we bottom out. Mid-80s Sunday, low 80s now in the forecast for Monday, but you mentioned the fair. It's always hot for the hair, and that continues in tradition this year. Back to those 90s next week.
Thanks so much, Elena. And that is our show for today. As always, thank you so much for starting your day with us. Good Morning America starts right now.